Welcome to this week's Jackson County Board of Commissioners meeting. This meeting is held in the Jackson County Courthouse Auditorium at 10 South Oakdale in Medford. This meeting is held every Wednesday morning at 9:30, as long as a quorum of 2 commissioners is available to conduct the business of Jackson County. Your Jackson County Commissioners broadcast this meeting over Rogue Valley Television, and it's available for streaming and review at jacksoncountyor.gov. Under the Government tab, under Recorded Meetings, click on RVTV Live Streaming. The types of business that occur at this meeting include public hearings, official voting on actions by the Board of Commissioners, presentations by departments of the county, and recognition of service that makes our county great. Agendas of the meetings are posted on the Commissioners' Bulletin Board and released on the county's website and through local media in the time required for public notice. Many of the conclusions on the business presented to the Board of Commissioners have been discussed in detail and prepared by the administrative office and staff prior to consideration at this meeting and the official vote. These prior discussions also have been properly noticed and the work done in a transparent manner. We encourage you to come and experience the process by attending any of these meetings or watch online at jacksoncountyor.gov. And now, your Jackson County Commissioners, Rick Dyer, Colleen Roberts, and Randy Sparacino, working for you.
So it's 9:30, and I'll call to order the Board of Commissioners regular meeting for December 17th, 2025. We are in the Courthouse Auditorium and also on audio-video conference. And we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, if you'd stand and join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll move on to the request for and discussion of non-agenda items. It's a 5-minute limit pursuant to the codified ordinances of Jackson County, Section 213.06. Members of the public may address any item not on the agenda. However, pursuant to ORS 192.640, the Board of Commissioners, I have to think if I said that right. The Board of Commissioners is prohibited from discussing any principal subject that's not on today's agenda. Therefore, the Board of Commissioners will listen to your concerns and may consider the matter you raise by asking staff to follow up on any questions or by placing the matter on an agenda for discussion at a future meeting. And we have a sign-up sheet in the auditorium, and there's no name on there, so if you want to come forward and give your name and address for the record, you can address any item not on the agenda, or if you're online, raise your Zoom hand and we'll bring you into the meeting.
Madam Chair, there's no one with their Zoom hand raised.
Okay. And there's no one coming forward. We will move on to our consent calendar. We have minutes of meetings, the Board of Commissioners work session from November 25th, 2025, and the Board of Commissioners regular meeting, November 26th, 2025. And we have order authorizing the chair of the Jackson County Board of Commissioners to execute an easement with the White City Lighting District, and that's order number 257-25.
Move approval of the consent calendar as read.
Second.
Commissioner Dyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparacino?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes, thank you. We have a couple public hearings this morning. Our first public hearing is an order assigning ambulance service area number 2 to Mercy Flights Incorporated. It's order number 258-25. Shannon.
All right, so ambulance services in Jackson County are governed by Jackson County's ambulance service plan. Under that plan, Jackson County is divided into 3 ambulance service areas. The Board of Commissioners is empowered by the plan to assign an exclusive license to operate ambulances in ambulance service area number 2, which includes Medford, Central Point, Jacksonville, Phoenix, White City, Rouge, Applegate, Eagle Point, Shady Cove, Butte Falls, Prospect, and Union Creek. The only application received was from Mercy Flights, Inc. The board reviewed the information submitted by the applicant, the staff report, and all other provided information at the November 25th, 2025 Board of Commissioners work session. The application process follows the procedures prescribed in Section 7 of Chapter 1075 of the Codified Ordinances of Jackson County, Section 7 2.5 subsection C of the plan requires a public hearing to be held for interested persons to voice their views regarding the selection of an ambulance service provider. Notice of this public hearing was published in the December 3rd, 2025 edition of the Rogue River Press, giving 10 days notice of public hearing as required by law. Mercy Flights, Inc. is the current ambulance service provider for Service Area 2, and its current assignment expires on December 31st, 2025. It is recommended that the public hearing be held. Following the public hearing, should the Board of Commissioners find that the proposed assignment is acceptable, approval of the board order will implement that action at the effective date of the assignment will be January 1st, 2026.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, before we open the public hearing, we'll hear our rules of our public hearing from County Council.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Pursuant to Chapter 213 of the Codified Ordinance, the following are the rules for the conduct of the hearing today. Only the chairperson or a member of the Board of County Commissioners may question the speaker. There'll be no interruption of a speaker from the floor and no debates on the floor. Applause is not permitted. A speaker may criticize the proposal, the board, or agency of the county, but the speaker shall not argue with another speaker directly. Any speaker may present the opposite view, but not in personal terms. A person wishing to speak shall either sign in and be recognized, raise his or her hand, or raise her Zoom hand and be recognized first by the chairperson conducting the hearing. After being recognized, the speaker shall first state his or her name and address before proceeding with his or her statement. The chair may limit the duration of any presentation to the time necessary to cover factual information. Whoever violates any of such rules shall first be warned to desist from such violation. In the event that such person does not so desist, he or she may be ordered by the chairperson to leave the hearing. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So with that, we'll open the public hearing on the matter and the order assigning ambulance area number 2 to Mercy Flights Incorporated. And we have representation from Mercy Flights here today. You're welcome to speak to it, or anybody in the auditorium, anybody online will bring you into the meeting. Nobody's coming forward. Nobody signed up. We also have a sign-up sheet.
And there's no one with their Zoom hand raised, Madam Chair.
Okay. Well, with that, then, we will close the public hearing and take a motion and deliberate with the board.
Move approval, order number 258-25.
I'll second.
And in our deliberation?
Well, I think they stood out well above all the other applicants. No, I'm sorry, they're the only applicant. But even if there were some, I'm convinced, I'm confident they would have stood out. I think Mercy Flights has done an excellent job for us. We'll continue to do that. Appreciate the communication, collaboration, Sheila and all the staff, and glad that you're still around and able to do it.
Yep, I think Mercy Flights does a great job, and we had a great presentation of the information from Mercy Flights, and thank you for, you cover a huge area of our county.
I agree.
Okay, we'll take a vote.
Commissioner Sparacino?
Yes.
Commissioner Dyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, well, we're going to move on to the next public hearing, and it's a public hearing and order in the matter of the legalization of a portion of public right-of-way, commonly known as Lampman Road. It's a County Road 1101, located in Section 20, Township 36 South, Range 3 West of the Willamette Meridian. It's order number 259-25. Shannon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jackson County has begun planning for the replacement of the Lampman Road Bridge over Galls Creek. The legal status of a portion of Lampman Road as a right-of-way is questionable. Oregon Revised Statute, ORS 368.201, authorizes the Jackson County Board of Commissioners to initiate legalization proceedings for a county road if, through omission or defect, doubt exists as to the legal establishment or evidence of establishment of a public road. On October 8th, 2025, the Board of Commissioners approved Board Order Number 211-25, initiating the legalization proceedings for a portion of Lampman Road, County Road 1101, located in Section 20, Township 36 South, Range 3 West of the Willamette Meridian. The Roads and Parks Department agrees that it is in the best interest of the public to legalize this portion of Lampman Road. Pursuant to ORS 368.201, 2061 subsection C, notice of the proceedings for legalization, including the board order's public hearing on December 17th, 2025, were sent by certified mail to all owners of abutting land on November 6th, 2025. Were published in the November 19th and December 3rd, 2025 editions of the Rogue Valley Times, and 3 notices of the proceedings were posted along the portion of the right-of-way. It is recommended that the public hearing be held. Following the public hearing, should the Board of Commissioners find the legalization acceptable, approval of the board order will implement that action, and the effective date of the legalization will be the date of the board order.
Thank you, Shannon. And we will have the rereading of the rules.
May I just, before we read the rules, so we did receive some comments from the county surveyor, Scott Fine, over the course of yesterday relating to this. And so I don't see Scott here, but I think it, just so the board knows what those concerns were, and that we also have both road staff, Steve and James are here, along with a private surveyor that we had used for part of this process. So I'd just like to, so the board knows, and it's in the record, what those concerns were, so that, and that we've addressed them. So he expressed 3 concerns. The first concern was that we perhaps were trying to legalize a portion of a road that didn't meet the qualifications for legalization. Essentially, the qualifications for legalizations are we don't know what the boundaries are, or the road basically where people are now traveling is kind of moved outside of the boundaries. And so what we want to do is sort of reset the road's boundaries in the right of way. Scott had some concerns in reviewing this file yesterday that we couldn't meet those standards because we did know where the roads were based upon the deed work. Mr. Mead, who is the private surveyor, can address that, but as a summary, Mr. Mead believes that we are within the scope of what road legalization is allowed to do, and that while Scott did provide some information related to this, after reviewing it, it still is outside. Those documents are outside of what we're doing today. One of his other concerns had to do with the filing and recording of surveyors. And I apologize if Scott was here, I would let him make his own comment, but I wanted the board to be aware of what's going on. One of his other concerns is he wanted a monument survey filed prior to this coming before the board. So just so the board's aware, a monument survey is essentially going out and monumenting what the new right-of-way is. In talking to Steve and James from Roads and myself, we believe a monument survey being conducted before the board determines what the right-of-way is kind of putting the cart before the horse, because how can we monument where the right-of-way is until the board has decided where the right-of-way is? And so while there is an intention to monument the survey from a sort of order of process standpoint, it doesn't make sense to do that prior to the board determining where the right-of-way. So that was one of Scott's concerns. So we think that that will be followed, but it shouldn't be done before the board determines what the right-of-way is. And the last one is essentially conducting what's called a retracement or a survey of the as-is on the ground. And so just so the board is aware, Scott has said, hey, I think we should go out and survey what's on the ground and record that with the county surveyor's office before we go in and record what the new right-of-way is. So the board is aware. Mr. Mead did conduct that survey on the ground, and that is what was used to prepare the map in the legal description that the board is considering today. There's no requirement that it get filed in the county surveyor's office or reviewed by the county surveyor's office. There's lots of surveys done every day in our county and throughout the state of Oregon that don't get filed with the county surveyor's office. And in this particular case, it was just seen from a process standpoint, it's not required. And filing a survey of what's on the ground when the board is going to change it by adopting the legalization and then filing up almost is kind of like doing double work. So why would we file a survey in the county surveyor's office with what's on the ground today when the whole point of this process is to then adopt a new survey, a new right-of-way that describes what the road actually is? So I just wanted the board to be aware we did take those concerns very seriously. Mr. Mead was up at 8 o'clock this morning at a title company making sure that he got all the information, he hadn't missed anything, but I just did want to bring that to the board's attention so that we did get some comments, concerns about the process, and we do believe we are still moving forward in a legal and reasonable manner.
Thank you. Appreciate the confirmation of that.
Now, do you want the rules?
All right.
So the rules pursuant to Chapter 213 of the codified ordinance, here are the rules for the conduct of the public hearing as follows. Only the chairperson or a member of the Board of County Commissioners may question a speaker. There'll be no interruption of the speaker from the audience and no debates on the floor. Applause is not permitted. The speaker may criticize the proposal of the board or an agency of the county, but the speaker shall not argue with another speaker directly. Any speaker may present an opposite view, but not in personal terms. Prior to speaking, a person wishing to speak shall sign in, raise her his or her hand or raise her Zoom hand and be recognized first by the chairperson conducting the hearing. After being recognized, the speaker shall first state his or her name and address before proceeding with his or her statement. The chairperson may limit the duration of any presentation to the time necessary to cover factual information. Repetition by a speaker shall be avoided. Whoever violates any such rules shall first be warned to desist from such violation. In the event that such person does not so desist, he or she may be ordered by the chairperson to leave the hearing. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you very much. With that, I will open the public hearing on the order and the matter of legalization of the portion of public right-of-way commonly known as Lampman Road. And nobody signed up, but you're welcome to come to the podium and give your name and address for the record. If you're online, you're welcome to raise your Zoom hand and you'll be brought into the hearing.
Madam Chair, no one has their Zoom hand raised.
Okay, I have a question before I close the public hearing, and that is, the certified letters were mailed to all the landowners. Did we get any replies from those?
I'll let Steve Lambert from Lambert.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Steve, for coming.
Yes. Commissioner Robert Steve Lambert, Roads and Parks Director for the county, as you know. We go above and beyond just the law and requiring posting and certifications. James Philp, our county engineer, actually reached out to the 4 affected landowners in the stretch of Lampman Road and personally met with 3 of them. One of the landowners never responded to James's request to be able to meet, but he and Mr. Dane, our public surveyor, went out to the site and actually visited with folks and explained the situation at hand. So we try and be a little bit proactive in that so that we can resolve issues with landowners ahead of time, answer any questions they may have before the public hearing. So we had engaged with 3 of the 4 landowners.
Great. And did they have any objections or concerns or?
No, you may remember.
Great outreach.
Yeah, you may remember from the work session that there's one landowner that has some structures that are in the right of way. Those structures actually are on the side of the right of way per that gentleman's actual deeds and legal descriptions for his property. So James is actually in the process of working on an encroachment permit, right-of-way encroachment permit with that landowner, and he's satisfied with the approach that we're taking to allow those to remain. And they will not be affected per our recent conversations with the Oregon Department of Transportation, who's designing this bridge replacement project. Those structures can stay as is, and they're able to design around it.
That's wonderful. That's great. Thank you. Any other questions while we have Steve up there?
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, with that, I'll close the public hearing and take a motion for discussion and deliberation.
Move approval of order number 259-25.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Well, I'll start, I guess. Yeah, I read the concerns of the surveyor, and I appreciate his input. I always appreciate his, again, expertise. But I also read the response and the process, and I feel that we're completely, I'm satisfied with our process and what will be done afterwards, and that it is, of course, legal and reasonable, as our Joel said. And I do also, I didn't realize to the extent that we did go over and above, and that kind of service to our citizens is greatly appreciated. And I'm sure not, by them, of course, but by us as well, to inform and accommodate whatever, needs and situation arose. So appreciate that. And like I said, I feel pretty confident with the process.
Yeah, I'm very satisfied with the thoroughness of the process and extremely impressed with the outreach by staff.
Yep, and I thank Joel for the transparency of bringing the surveyor's concerns forward, the action of our staff in answering those questions and concerns, and am very confident that this is like the right thing to do as we try to get that bridge replaced, right? So we'll go ahead and take a vote.
Commissioner Sparacino?
Yes.
Commissioner Dyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes. All right, we're going to move on. We have one item for discussion and deliberation, an order authorizing amendment number 1 to Jackson County Services contract dated December 17th, 2024 with Linguava Interpreters Incorporated. It's order number 260-25. Shannon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Linguavia Interpreters, Inc. will provide on-site and telephonic interpretation, translation, and localization services, as well as scheduled video and video relay interpretation services. The current contract is not to exceed expense amount of $20,000 for the term of the contract, which is January 1st, 2025 through December 1st, 2025. Amendment number 1 will increase the not to exceed expense amount by $10,000 to $30,000 and will also extend the term of the contract through December 31st, 2026, which results in the term being extended beyond the 12 months and is requiring authorization by the Board of Commissioners. The amendment is effective upon execution and it is for the HHS department.
Great, thank you. I'll take a motion.
I'll move approval of order number 260-25.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just want to clarify that Linguava does not include any fruit service or smoothies. Strictly a service.
And they do more than one language. We found out in our discussion, they do several interpretations of language issues that come before our staff. So it's pretty impressive. We'll take a vote.
Commissioner Dyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Sparacino?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes. It does conclude our agenda, and so the meeting is adjourned.
We hope that you've enjoyed this week's Jackson County Board of Commissioners meeting. If you have any questions on any part of the show, please feel free to contact your Jackson County Commissioners or staff. You can find their contact information at jacksoncountyor.gov. To review the content of this or any other meeting, under the Government tab, under Recorded Meetings, click on RVTV Live Streaming.
I do have a question.